Well, good morning, everybody. This is Ron Howard from Extreme Sequences. Yo, pal, yo, buddy, Roo, Uncle X-Lights in the flesh. On a Saturday morning, I've had no coffee, and I am barely making it. I'm a little tired, but I wanted to wake up early this morning to really understand the shadow models deal. I saw Keith Wesley's video from a year ago. There's been several changes, or at least a few changes made that I still don't quite understand, but I do understand how to make the shadow models work for me and hopefully for you. In particular, there are two Gilbert Engineering models that come to mind that have always sort of created an issue when uploading to controllers because as a native file, when you separate these by strings, which means how many outputs you want to use to run your data and or power, it simply divides it by 4. So you get 250. Well, okay, that's great if you have 50 node strings, but if you have 100 node strings like I had last year, it becomes a pain in the patootie. And it's all cool until you have to upload something to this controller and it wipes out everything you did in the controller and goes back to 250, 250, 250, 250. I've made videos on these before. So the Grand Illusion and the Mother of All Wreaths are the two that really present challenges when uploading output to the controllers. Now these other models, like the Dazzler, these are custom models, and when you tell it the number of strings, it gives you this wonderful option for individual start nodes by selecting the little box here. And you can tell it, great, string 1, start with node 1. Well, thank you for that one. Yeah, that's easy. String 2, start with 301. That way, the first 300 nodes are from 3 strings of 100. I'm not wasting anything. I'm not having to cut any nodes off. That's beautiful. Why can't we just have that for this? I guess we can't. So, this morning, through trial and error, I made this work, and I'm sort of happy as a clam right now to be able to share this with you. And I guess I had missed Keith's video from a year ago. I don't know. It's hard to keep up with everything, as you know. So let's get into this. First of all, if you're in 3D, get yourself out of it. This isn't going to work in the 3D world for setting it up. Not going to happen. So just flatten this puppy out. So let's look at this model. This model is 640 nodes. If I tell it 2 strings now, it's going to split it into 320. So that forces you to either have strings of 320 or go to the controller and override the settings. But again, once you upload this again, because you can't lock ports, it'll just change it back to 320, 320. So set it to 640. Okay. And put it to start channels. Now, I know everyone is used to this just being on the controller it belongs to. Trust me, you're going to want to just put this on a start channel, and we're going to point it somewhere in a second. First thing you're going to do is you're going to create just a line. Just use a single strand effect and tell it how many numbers are in the first string. Do the same thing with the second. How many numbers are in the second string? The first one's 300. This one's 340. That's how I want to wire it. And give them, interesting, cute character names like MOA 1A, MOA 1B, because you're going to need to align these to this in a bit, okay? All right, so that's pretty simple. Take note of this before you change the channels, before you sort of get rid of ports and all that. This is on port 41, so just jot that down on a piece of paper, notepad, 41. This goes to the secondary F48. Okay, cool. So this first one, this one should go to, yeah, that's right. This should go on the controller F48. It's the beginning, and it's port 41. This one is port 42 on the same controller. The Automagic's still working for you. And what happens here is these become shadow models. Now, I was working with Shadow Models 4. You can click on this and go down here and find the MOA 1A. And I could not get it to work. I have no idea what this really does. Or at least it did not work for me, so I'm using it old school. If I figure it out, then I'll let people know. But for now, the way this works is if we put on overlap checks enabled and I click on this, it turns on both. If I click one, it turns on this. This is 300 nodes, but it just highlights the whole thing. Just get used to it. And also, it looks like a pixel's funky here. Or actually, that's just start pixel. That always throws me off. Being partially colorblind and not being able to see exactly what that little bluish color is drives me nuts. But anyway, and then the second one just simply turns everything on. Okay, that's it. When we get to our sequencer, it's going to actually do as it should. And let me scoot all this down. Let me go find this. And basically what we're going to get is this. Okay. If I were to put this on the MOA 1A, that sort of just shows the line, but it's doing more than that. Let me get this over here. It's also doing half of the prop. There we go. Let me bring this in here. House preview, model preview, and let me scoot this in. There we go. So that is 1A, and this is MOA 1B. It doesn't look pretty, does it? Let's see, if I put it on default, it doesn't really matter. But it's working. And the main thing is, when it's at the group level or the individual level, and I choose the correct layer settings here, will it work? And it does. And here's the other beautiful thing. When we upload this to the controller, what we want to see on that controller now, let's just open it. Ta-da! There we are. There's my F48. And we'll look at the output strings here. Output 41, 300, and 340. The shadow models is telling the controllers what to do. It's telling output 1 to be 300. I know you're a native file. I got your back. And output 42 is 340. This is going to help a lot of people. I wish there was more attention put on this over this last year. I didn't even know about the video, so apologies for that. But now we know. Now I know, and I can spread the word. So let's practice. Get your X lights ready, pause this, and you can practice along with me. You ready? Come on, hurry up. Waiting on you. Jim, I'm waiting on you. All right, here, let's go. Let's do this one right here. So we know that this is 640 nodes, so we're going to use 2 strings, correct? So let's go up here, let's create another string, and we're just going to draw a model. And I'm on .35, so it's a little sluggish. This model, we are going to make 300 nodes, right? And we're going to give it a cute name. We're going to call this MOA 2A. Okay, let's save that. And then we are going to, we could copy and paste, or we can just drag another one down here. And we're going to make this one 340 nodes. And call this MOA when it's ready. There we go, MOA 2B. There we go. Looks good to me. So 340 nodes. Now, it's probably a good idea, let's just save this. Before we change this to channels instead of the controller, make note, what is this? This starts on 43. So it's probably a good idea to go ahead and grab these, right? Let's tell these both that they're going to be on controller name F48, secondary. Okay, and make sure we know which port this starts on. So this is going to be port 43. There we go. And this one's going to be port 44. And save that. There we go. 43, 44. That's looking good. So these are going to use the ports with the correct number of nodes. Now we have to tell this that these are shadow models for it. And it's as simple as taking this off of the F48, take it away from the Auto Magic. I know it's going to hurt your feelings a little bit, but just go to Use Start Channel. Change the Start Channel to Start. Bring this down to the M's for the MOA 2A. And that is it. Save that. Now you can see with the MOA 2, both are highlighted. I'll highlight the first one. It's there. Highlight the second one. It's there. Great. We're not done yet. We need to make sure before we upload to the controller that this is correct in the controller visualizer itself. So let's click visualizer. It's going to bark at you. It says you might have mucked up your entire damn show. But not to worry, there's a fix. And so we'll go over here to 43. Look what happened there. That's no good. The only thing that's missing here, it's funny because it did put MOA 2B in place, but it just didn't put MOA 2A. So we'll go over here and find MOA 2A. There it is. I just saw it. There we are. We're down here, way down here, and just throw this into place. So MOA 2A on 43, 300 nodes. MOA 2B found its way home, 340 nodes. Close out of this, save it. Now we're ready to upload that. Before we upload it, let's just make sure that we're about to change something. Let me resize this window here. Oh, that's so much better. So 41 and 42, we know we took care of with 300 and 340. Right now, 43 is stuck on 320 and 320. So something that I've adopted now as a new practice when uploading to Falcon controllers is having full X-Lights control on. I'll turn that off when I'm done with it. I don't want to leave it on. Typically, nothing should happen, but I use it as a tool. All right. Fair enough. So now I'm going to upload output. I could really use a coffee right now. I have to drive to Long Beach with Natalie to go pick up the mother-in-law. Oh, the fun of Saturday. Hope everyone's having a great time out there getting shows ready for Christmas. Be safe, please. And now this will be the final upload, and we will take a look. The nice thing is, there was no error down here. So when you have a controller here and you see an error here, don't waste your time trying to upload. It's not going anywhere. Let's bring back our window. Let's refresh this. Again, we're going to confirm that this is stuck on 320 and 320, as X-Lights can only split the strings by 2. But now that we have employed the shadow models, and we refresh and we get this. 43, 300, and 340. Boom, done. Drop the mic. This is really, really pretty cool. I'm really happy about this because this is going to come in super duper handy for my Grand Illusions. Or if you have props from other vendors that are concentric rings, but anything that's round that you might have created with the circle tool or the wreath tool, this will absolutely work. Now, we don't need these in our show anymore, so why don't we just right-click, bulk edit, and let's just go park these in some other place. Oh, preview. There you are. They sort of compartmentalize these different things. So if you're not used to it, you'll find it. Preview. Let's just put this in unassigned. Bye-bye. There they are. Gone. And they still work. Don't worry about that. They're still over here. You just don't need to do anything with them. And it doesn't matter how pretty they look. We're simply using them as a tool. Now we can go back to 3D, save this. We can go into our sequencer and let's render this. And let's make sure that the models still work. And to me, they look absolutely amazing. That's all I've got for you. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. See ya.